Carlson with AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Matsuricon 2013 with Mr. Professor Shyguy. How you doing?
Hi, I'm Mr. Professor Shyguy. I'm doing well.
All right. How did you get started in the world of entertainment?
Basically started playing music from farther than I can remember back almost. Playing with a little tiny keyboard from Sears that my mom got me that I remember being excited about. And going on. And the first time I really started performing, when I went to college, I just started going to coffee shops and I was like, you guys want somebody to play songs and sing songs? Because I can do that. And I would sit down and I would play Sweet Home Alabama because that was the time. It was 2001. Yep. And play whatever else, and then they would let me play. And that's how I started performing simple coffee shops, just by cold calling them, basically.
All right, cool. And for fans that don't know, tell us about your style of music. I know it's a chiptune, kind of electro mix. Is that right?
It's basically it's a base of chiptunes. I write the chiptunes, and I play them, and I play guitar, or play drums, or play keys over them, although chipped-themed keys. That's a fun tongue twister. Basically, I have the chiptunes programmed into my keyboard now so I can play the crazy sounds. And then I sing over them. So it's like some songs might not have drums or guitar, but I'll still sing, so it's always that. It's just those accent it up rather than being the constant thing. The chiptunes are the constant thing. Stylistically, it's kind of pop, but it kind of gets kind of rock, a little heavy sometimes for fun, but it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't break the theme. It still is kind of a dancey pop thing, but with sometimes some chugging heavy guitar and some screaming and yelling every once in a while.
Great. And what type of emotion do you want to bring out in your fans when you do one of your performances? We got to check it out yesterday. It was an entertaining experience.
When I first started, it was going to be Shyguy, I was going to be terse, and I wasn't going to say much on stage, and try to just like say a couple of funny things and then not talk most of the other times. But people started to interact with me on my first show, and I was like, I want to interact with people. That's what I like doing. It's hard for me to play a character, and I abandoned that pretty much right away because I wanted to rather just go up and have fun and be a goof. That's kind of why I started this, because like I have my band, the Aeronauts, where I sing about the more introspective things and all the like troubles that I have and such like that, like stuff that you have. Still a fun band, but I was like, I just want to sing about geeky things and stuff that I love and words and science, etc. So that's why I started this, so I could just go up and be a goof and have fun. And now I just like to go up and be a goof and have fun. Like I like to climb on things or anything. Like now that I'm comfortable with it, now that I'm comfortable with being a solo act on stage, if I think of something dumb I want to do, I can go do it rather than trying to always rehearse what I'm going to do. I'll rehearse the songs, of course, but I'd rather not rehearse what I'm going to do and let the crowd interact with me and find out what I want to do from there. So like I want fun from the crowd. I want you don't have to dance, but standing up is good, maybe bouncing. Sitting down's fine too. I'll often go into the audience and sit in their laps if they're sitting down to make them pay for it. You could do it, you're just going to have to pay the tax. Yep. Yeah.
Alrighty, and now you have when your first album was released, did this open some additional doors for you within the music industry?
Yes, for sure. I started sending it out to people to like get reviewed, and it got on like Wired Review. A guy, Seb Silver, reviewed it for me and got into some other things, and that's what got me into like. Here's advice for anybody who's wanting to make music: make an album. It doesn't have to be great. Just make an album. Have something. You need something. You need something, or else people aren't gonna consider it. Yeah, exactly. They're not gonna consider having you on, and that's a generalization. Some people will get farther. There's a band that I love. They only have an EP out, and they've been touring with big bands, and I wish they would release a full CD because I love their music. I have their band on my arm. Yeah, so like that was able to get me into Nerdapalooza and get me into MagFest and get me into these really fantastic venues. Like there was a word of mouth. Some friends were helping me, like some friends that had seen me. Like word of mouth has been very good for me. Somebody would see me play, and then they would tell their friends who work at these fancier things. They've played these things. It's been very good. And like having that CD let me put myself out there. It gave me the confidence to go get shows, because otherwise, like if you want to do it as a living, you need something to sell. And if you don't have CDs to sell, then it's hard to be like, I'm going to go drive to Florida and play a show and come back broke because there was nothing to sell. Like, I've done that. But it's a lot easier. Like the CD gives me the confidence and gives me the legitimacy that's needed.
Now, the cool part is that you have a second album, and you got to work with some special guests like Mr. Kylie Bear. How is that working on that album?
Great. That one, Kylie Bear was the easiest. He was the easiest to work with. The other two I love. 3. Dwayne and Brando were a pair that was on one song. And Dwayne, I met him a year ago, and he's my friend. Brando is my friend, but I've never met him in real life. He's cool. But yeah, they were a little bit trouble to work with. That's what the song is about. Like, they kept changing their mind. I would bring them ideas, and they'd be like, yes, but no. And then they would have hard times communicating with each other. And then I was like, well, then you bring me an idea. And they brought me an idea. And I waited like 2 or so weeks, and the Kickstarter was starting for the album because I had the date to start that. And they still, 2 days, I think, after the Kickstarter started, they were like, we got to abandon that one. We can't write anything. And I was like, it's 2 days after the Kickstarter started. So I was like, you brought me the theme and you can't think of it. So it ended up being a theme about how they couldn't think of anything, and I was frustrated with it. So it's a fun, like, meta song about, I was like, I'll just burn you guys and for doing it, and we'll have fun. And then Amanda Lepre is the other person, another person on there whose music I love. I met her at Nerdapalooza last year because they wanted to play a show in Nashville, and they contacted me because that's where I live, and fell in love with her music immediately. It's so good. It's like folk metal prog type stuff, and she's like this little tiny girl, big hair, and just like wails and plays, like, jams the guitar. But it's just like lots of acoustic in the metal album, which I like. A lot of acoustic in metal for me. That works. That's a good folk metal thing. But it's just Amanda Lepre is really good. So I really wanted her on the album, and I had her be Samus in the Metroid song, where I vilify Metroid. I vilify Samus, because if you take basically she lands on this planet, and then starts just working her way down and killing everything on the planet until she reaches Mother Brain and blows up the planet's brain after killing all the wildlife. And then Kyle Hebert, I met him in Chattanooga. We did a game show type thing together, and he's also coincidentally from Lake Charles, Louisiana, the small Louisiana town that I'm also from. Chubby bald guys with beards come from Louisiana and make nerd stuff.
That's cool. And how can fans keep up with you with you and your music online?
Facebook.com/Professor Shyguy Music's the easiest. That's where I'm the most active. Like, I have ProfessorShyguy.com, and it looks cool and stuff too, but as far as like posting and keeping updated and stupid stuff I think of, which is today, the spoofing my own lyrics was my theme today. I just started writing stupid stuff. It's real stupid. Go to Facebook.com/Professor Shyguy Music and see stupid puns. But otherwise, like, I'll usually keep a banner that has like the dates that I'm playing, like the cons I'm playing, and coming on a tour coming up with some secret people. Mega Rand is the secret person, which I'm excited about because Mega Rand's really good.
Yeah.
But also Amanda Lepre, who I love, obviously, and D&D Sluggers. And we're going to be going, it'll be my first time to go to California and Portland and all these places, and I need to make it to Nerd Melt Comics when I'm, and I think Los Angeles, because that's my mecca.
Yeah, it is.
Because the Nerdist is a big influence on me. Chris Hardwick, his work ethic type thing. That's big influence on me.
Awesome. And so what does the future hold for Professor Shyguy? And how can we see you potentially at any other conventions down the road? Anything's coming up shortly you want fans to know about?
Daycon is in Nashville. I'm doing that one. Ectocon, which is a little one in St. Louis that's themed on Ghostbusters, which is fun. They're the same people who run Kawacon, who I like a lot. What else? I know there's more. I don't know if there's much more, actually. There's the tour, and there's Nerdapalooza, which I'll be playing at, and they might be giants that are going to be there, which is crazy. And MC Frontalot, who I really like, is going to be there, and he'll finally get to see me play. Because I'm having somebody make sure that he comes to my set. Because he's a big influence on why I started this as well. And then I'm starting to book stuff next year. I'm going to be at cons as much as I can. It's half the reason I started this. My percentages are way off. MC Frontalot's half, Chris Hardwick's half, Felicia Day's half.
We're just gonna jack it up over 100.
Yeah. It's over once we get over 9,000%. Ha ha ha. But I started this because I love going to cons. So if I can go to cons and play music at cons, it's a win-win. And there's some that it's I don't get to enjoy them all as much as I want to. Gen Con I do. Gen Con's one where I'm just like, I'm going to go there and just play board games until I can't breathe anymore, play my show, and then play board games and then leave with a bunch of board games. I love board games. But yeah, I'm going to plan on keeping on the con circuit and keep playing music. So I love doing this, and it's finally becoming something I can do for a living. Just singing silly songs about things I like. Yeah, anyway.
All right, those tongue twisters will get you. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming out here and talking with us here at AnimeLocation.tv and at Matsuricon 2013. Thank you so much.